Chicago State from the Western Athletic Conference. Glen Burns, Fred Sims Jr., as Joe alluded to, Montana Bird, Cameron Bowles, and Deontay Simmons, the starting five for Chicago State. Meanwhile, for the Cougars of SIU-E, of course, a two-game winning streak heading into this one. Christian Ellis starts at the point, followed by David McFarland, Jalen McCoy, Jalen Henry, and Keenan Simmons will be in the middle for John Simmons' squad.
Third straight game, Scott, that the Cougars have used this starting lineup where they've got Kinchin coming off the bench and McCoy in that starting spot.
As we take a look at the series history, this will be the 8th meeting between these two teams. The Cougars of SIU-E lead it 4-3. The last meeting coming on December 22nd, 2014, with SIU-E winning by a score of 63-38. Tyler Kump, Eric Lowe, and Ramonte Dishman are our officials in tonight's matchup between these two Cougars, in-state rivals SIU-E and Chicago State, and we're underway here from the Vidal Center. Cougars getting 2 free throws on Sunday afternoon late from Jalen Henry to preserve the comeback victory against South Alabama. Christian Ellis a little strong on our first attempt of the evening, and he's been shooting much better here of late.
He has, for sure. He's knocked down his first couple of threes in his career, but he's definitely been more of, I think, what they expected first bringing him in here, and he's also been dishing it out a little bit as well.
Cameron Bowles, number 21 on the ground, and we have our first foul against SIU-E. There you see Bowles, the freshman from Chicago, his first career start in their game over the weekend and their loss against Bradley up in Chicago. We had 9 points, Bowles did. Here's Burns. Bowles on the drive and another foul. This one will be on David McFarland.
It's a bailout there, too, Scott, for Chicago State. The shot clock had gotten all the way down to 5, and McFarland gives them new life there.
And Daniel Kinchin will check in for McFarland. 18 points for Kinchin in the victory against South Alabama. And last touch by SIU-E. Sims, Joe mentioned, crossed the 1,000-point mark in his career at Chicago State, and Keenan Simmons pulls down the rebound for SIU-E.
Keenan's coming off a good game, 8 points, 9 rebounds against South Alabama. It was more of what we expect Keenan Simmons to be.
John Harris, the local boy, in his 3rd season. In 1998, John was a senior at Edwardsville High School right here, and he wound up being the Metro Player of the Year in the St. Louis metro area, also an all-state player for the Tigers of Edwardsville. And Bowles, the freshman, gets the first 2 points of the evening here at the Vidal Center.
Too easy, Scott. Cameron Bowles made that cut in on the baseline. He was all alone.
Offensive foul on Jalen Henry. SIU-E with a little full court pressure, broken nicely by Chicago State. Glen Burns, he handles the point position for Chicago State. Nice look inside. Bowles with the reverse lay-in, and a good start for the visitors.
Yeah, it's been a sloppy start overall, but this is not the start that you want if you're SIU-E. Some easy look points so far for Chicago State.
Henry from the outside.
I think Jalen Henry really had a good shot at being the player of the week in the OVC last week, except there was a UT Martin player that ended up with a triple-double in a game, and I think that's what kept Jalen Henry from being named as the player of the week last week.
And the drive by Montana Bird.
That's a lot of steps.
And again, a little full court pressure being applied on Christian Ellis. Here's McCoy. Kinchin for three.
Scott, the Cougars of SIU-E, they're going to see a lot of zone from Chicago State. And if Daniel Kinchin is shooting like that, he's going to get a lot of opportunities today.
Last touch by Chicago State. SIU basketball. There is Tracy Dilby, 8th season. He's the interim athletic director as well. And you want to talk about Mr. Chicago. Played collegiately at UIC and played for King High School in the Public High League. In fact, he is the Hall of Famer of the Public High League, also a State of Illinois basketball Hall of Famer, as well as a Hall of Famer at UIC. Very nice look by Jalen Henry.
Again, the Cougars are going to be able to get some opportunities, especially if they're seeing a lot of zone. They're going to be able to try to, if they can get into the middle of it, and that's really the bread and butter for Jalen Henry, or if they're hitting well from the outside, and that's where you can see a lot of Daniel Kinchin tonight.
Great block by Keenan Simmons in SIU-E basketball.
Oh my gosh, coming out of nowhere to swat this shot away. This is just kind of an instinct on Keenan Simmons, and obviously the athleticism from the senior to block that away. Look at that, clean, all ball.
3 blocks for Keenan a couple of games ago against IUPUI. He was a shot blocking machine last year for John Harris's squad.
Kind of slow to come around this year, but he's starting to get back into, again, as I said, what we expected, I think, from Keenan Simmons this year.
Ellis, too strong on the 3 attempts. Burns, and it's an offensive foul on Glen Burns.
Of being right where that ball was going to be to get that clean block.
Both teams 3 for 5 from the field early on. McCoy from the outside.
Jalen McCoy is going to be really important to this offense right here. And he's moved into that starting spot, as we talked about at the top of the broadcast there. And he's really, I think, a key if you can get him going, if he can kind of add a supplement to that Jalen Henry, Dan Kinchin two-headed monster, if you will. That would be huge going forward.
Simmons tries the answer, and Jalen pulls down the rebound. Jalen has 10 threes made in the last 4. And how about another triple, this time from Daniel Kinchin.
He's so good at catching and shooting the ball. You hear a lot of shooters, they got to get their feet set. They got to be square to the basket. Not Kinchin. He can knock it down at any point.
And the answer by Fred Sims Jr. And the over and back call on SIU-E. SIU-E draining some threes here in the early goings in the first half.
Scott, the Cougars have averaged 10 threes a game over their last 3. 5 times this year they've had at least 10 in a game. They had 11 a couple of games ago, and they're off to a nice start, 3 out of 5.
Sims, too strong.
I don't know if Simmons altered that shot a little bit.
Here's Kinchin for another 3. And long rebound taken by Henry. Jalen leans in, too strong. And Chicago State comes away with it. Sims, offensive foul the other way.
Well, it's when he tried to switch his momentum from right to left there that he got just a little bit out of control.
Foul is called offensive.
Watch as he tries to switch it right there, and he's cutting through. That's when he's just a little bit out of control, takes out Kitchen there in the process.
Here's Justin Benton running the point. Just got back into the swing of things after missing 4 games with a sprained ankle. Came back in the South Alabama game.
Got a game under his belt and then had a nice layoff there because of that finals break, and probably good for him to get even more stronger as we get closer and closer to conference play. I think Justin Benton will be a huge part of this team.
Dump down and too strong by Deontay Simmons of Chicago State. One and done on that possession. Back the other way. Here come SIU-E up by 4. Benton.
Nice little stroke right there, just right from the left elbow from Justin Benton.
Well, if you're John Harris, you really have to be very happy with the rhythm of the offense early goings here.
I think specifically even after the first couple of minutes where it was a little bit sloppy on both sides.
Good hands by McCoy. He's got a 2-on-1. McCoy going all the way too strong, but he's fouled and he'll head to the charity strike.
Well, Glen Burns is acting like it's on him and he doesn't like the call, or at least is acting the faux surprise there. McCoy going end to end though. Nice play to corral it. There's definitely a little contact there. Usually, Scott, on a wide open break like that, it's not going to take much contact to get the call.
Hard to believe it. This is just the 5th and 6th free throw attempt for McCoy this season. He gets 1 of 2 right now. It's a 15-3 run for SIU-E. Here's Burns at the point for Chicago State. Another 3 attempt, and it's drained again by Sims. That's his 2nd this half.
Well, we talked about at the top of the broadcast that that's the guy that certainly can get in rhythm, and he's a guy that can get hot offensively. You don't want to let him get comfortable out there.
Stewart, who just checked in. Simmons from the outside. And Burns collects the miss by Chicago State.
Keenan Simmons, not really the guy you want taking the outside shot.
Follow and a foul. Cameron Bulls to 80% this season. Bulls makes them both. Here comes that full court pressure again, Joe.
Yeah, we'll have to see, obviously, how the Cougars deal with it. It's not something they've seen consistently in a game this year.
Henry for 3. No. And offensive foul. Great job getting back on defense. It's Justin Benton.
Absolutely. Got there, got his feet set. Just establishes position just inside the free throw line right there. He sets up. Wasn't set for but a second, but he was set.
Trevion Stewart on the drive, kicks it back out. Jackson for the 3. And back the other way to Chicago State.
There has to be better decisions being made, Scott, because we saw Keenan Simmons and now Brandon Jackson both attempt a 3 the last couple of times down. That's not a good choice. That's not the kind of shot selection that if you're Coach Harris, you want to see from this team right now.
post right now, Chicago State. Montana Bird.
Nice job by Billowette. Just got his hand in there.
Shot clock down to 5 and away. Comes away with it. Great defense. Ellis on the break. Can't finish. And there's a kick by SIU-E back the other way. Folks, Wednesday night, Fox Sports Midwest takes you inside the baseball winter meetings with the Cardinals Confidential. Our cameras were granted exclusive access inside the Cardinals war room as the Cardinals pursued upgrades to their roster. We'll show you how some of the big deals unfolded. Cardinals Confidential, brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers, Wednesday at 7:30 before Blues pregame, right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Simmons with the finish.
Great look and a great cut by Deontay Simmons straight to the hoop. Just a tremendous finish from Simmons.
SIU-E won for their last 8 from the field. We're tied at 16. Henry with the save and back the other way. Chicago State, and the foul's going to be called on Justin Benton.
Coach.
Right now, Joe, a 7-0 run for Chicago State. In fact, SIU-E won for their last 8. Now that one partially blocked, but the follow through.
Cameron Bowles, good rebound, good putback.
And
see the initial block coming up right here. Henry got his hand on it just to swat it away, but Bowles right there to catch the loose basketball.
6 turnovers now for SIU-E. Trying that trap up high. Henry this time gets back and covers Simmons. Bowles. Henry with the rebound. Here come the Cougars of SIU-E down by 2. Henry with the spin move and the reverse, and it won't drop. The other way to SIU-E.
Jelani Pruitt again. He got wide open. He was waving his arm as he got to the baseline there. The pass just wasn't great, but it's another example of too many holes in the defense.
And after such a excellent start offensively for SIU-E, their last 11 trips have resulted in just 1 field goal and 4 turnovers. Kinchen. Stolen away by Chicago State. And the lay-in and the finish by Jelani Pruitt. Henry against Simmons. Jalen. Simmons crashing the boards. Henry comes away with it, and he'll head to the free throw line. You see Jalen Henry's numbers this season. As Joe pointed out in the outset, 3 double-doubles already this season for the senior from Springfield, Illinois. In fact, he has 8 games this season where he's finished in double figures.
Everyone but the opener against Purdue. Telling stat there, 10-2 points in the paint for Chicago State. They've been able to get to the basket.
Burns in the paint. Gets it back from Bowles. Sims directing traffic. Can he hit another three? No. And McCoy comes away with it for SIU-E.
Much better defensive stand right there. They forced Chicago State into a tougher shot.
Nice run by McFarland on the baseline.
And that's exactly what you've got to do if shots aren't falling. If those jump shots aren't falling, you've got to find a way to get to the basket yourself, which is what Chicago State was doing, what SIU-E needs to do.
Sims from the outside.
You'll take that shot if you're the SIU-E defense.
3 white jerseys ready for the rebound. Here's McCoy. McCoy sets up for 3. And they're going to call it a 2 as his toe was on the three-point arc. Shot clock down to 5. Burns on the drive. Ooh, breakdown. Defensively.
And really that's been the way, Scott, that Chicago State has gotten back into this game and ultimately overtaken SIU-E in this game.
Jalen posting up. Very nice. Oh, Spear lost the handle. Here comes McFarland on the run out. And the follow. No! Oh, Bulls is wide open. And he missed the shot. Under 5 left in the first half. Cougars trying to add to the 1-point lead. And Jalen Henry will head back to the free throw line.
Bowles and Spear double teaming Jalen Henry there, and I think Spear's going to get whistled. What was Bowles?
Here we see SIU-E working it inside, and Jalen Henry, as Joe alluded to, on the double team, and it's like Patrick Spear picked up the foul. So Jalen Henry back to the free throw line. Daniel Kinchin will check back in for John Harris's squad. There you see Daniel. One and two again for Henry. 2-point lead for SIU-E as John Harris looks on. Spear. Ooh, get a foul on Jalen Henry there.
Foul is called on SIU-E, number 24, Jalen Henry.
That's his second personal foul. 16 foul on both teams at the 4:39 mark of this opening half. Christian Ellis comes in. As John Harris right now, Joe, has a rather small lineup out on the floor except for Keenan Simmons. Here's Burns on the drive.
Simmons nearly had a block again. Burns was just able to muscle it past him.
It's at least 3 times we've seen Burns just go right to the rack. Ellis spots up. Just short.
And there's not a single white jersey there to pull the rebound in.
Pruitt, too strong. Rebound by Christian Ellis. Here comes SIU-E trying to break this tie. 24 with under 4 remaining in our opening half of play of Cougar basketball on Fox Sports Midwest. Foul is called, and we'll head to a break.
Thing, but that's the kind of steps that this program is looking to take. That's the process, is, you know, consistently picking up the W's. I was talking to Coach Harris today, and he was talking about specifically kind of gutting out the last couple of wins. But at this point, you know, you're talking about that process and learning how to win. And if you can get the positive result out of it, as SIU-E has, close or not close, that's what they want at this point, getting that W.
And not only that, but gaining a lot of confidence, because as we all know, right around the corner is conference play, and that's when things really start to amp up.
And I mentioned that to him, that, hey, do you feel like you're playing where you want to play, getting into conference play? So we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
Simmons with the finish inside. Spear on Ellis. Pruitt. So right now, Coach Harris has McCoy, who can just drive right to the net. They're going to give him the offensive foul call. Here's the last play, however, for SIU-E. Nice dish by Ellis, and Simmons with the finish here, Joe.
Just outstanding. Simmons just waiting on the baseline right there. And a good look from Christian Ellis. He almost even cleared out a little space there for Simmons. It's the 8th turnover, by the way, Scott, for SIU-E. Chicago State's turned over 9 times, so it has really been a sloppy first half.
Folks, every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on the day's hottest sports topics, Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. only on FS1. Fred Sims Jr. at the free throw line for Chicago State. 9 games in double figures. In fact, he has a season-high 26 this season, but has hit a little cool spell heading into tonight's action as he hits both free throws and ties the game at 28.
Yeah, and you never know if that's a good, if you're catching a guy at the right time, or if he's due to come out of that against your team.
Very nicely done by Christian Ellis there. Watch this.
Christian Ellis really strong, finishing to his left, which is what he was doing right there. That's when he's really been able to kind of get his points, is getting to the basket, finishing there with the left hand. He has struggled for his entire career at the free throw line, however.
Great job of using the right hand to shield the defender to get the shot off, and he completes the three-point play. Too strong, and this is Burns, and they're trying to reset the shot clock, as they said it did hit the rim on the miss. And now our officials will have a quick conference here, and they're going to say 2 seconds were eliminated after it went off the rim here.
Oh, that never hit the rim. I don't think it hits the rim at all.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Looked like it there on the replay. Good call, Joe. Bulls inside. Another block by Simmons. Under 2 minutes left here in the Vidalabine Center. Nice dish. And another finish for Keenan Simmons.
case there was coming on that, that South Alabama game was sort of vintage Simmons. 8 points, 9 rebounds. It's what you want to see often from Keenan Simmons. He's at 4 and 2 right now, but you're right, he's got a couple of blocks as well.
SIU-E with the 2-on-1 and the finish by Christian Ellis.
That was really strong because Ellis realized he might have been just a little bit too aggressive, going a little too fast. He has just a little stutter step right there at the end, gives him enough time to knock it down with a nice touch.
Pruitt on the drive. I would imagine one of the things that John Harris will tell his troops in that locker room is, hey, those guys are getting 2 easy layups.
Slows down the lane, yeah.
And Christian Ellis is going to be called for the offensive foul there, Joe.
Hey, go back to Foot Locker.
Offensive foul call on SIU-E number 13, Christian Ellis. 19 foul.
Christian trying to plead his case to no avail. Burns. Nice defense again by SIU-E. Now McFarland on the run out in the finish.
Tremendous pass from Christian Ellis. Just a very low bounce pass, kind of threaded the needle right there, and McFarland does a really good job in the open court.
6 assists now for Christian Ellis. Burns hits it at the end, but a strong finish to the opening. Cougar basketball, Fox Sports Midwest. Second half underway here at the Badalabine Center as SIU-E trying to make it 3 in a row for the first time in almost 3 years. Chicago State with the opening possession and a block by Henry.
Not sure how Simmons kept that.
Stuck with it and got the deuce.
Persistence.
These 2 teams combined had 6 offensive rebounds, 4 for SIU-E and just 2 for Chicago State. Jalen Henry from the outside.
He's got such a nice touch, even if you're talking about a little bit deeper. I mean, we've seen him obviously knock down the 3. Really, we like that about 15-foot range, but he steps just outside of that one.
Simmons, Deontay Simmons inside on Jalen Henry. Good help defense by McFarland, but he's going to be called for the foul. Folks, start your day with First Things First. Join Chris Carter, Nick Wright, and Jenna Wolf for the best morning sports show on TV. First Things First, weekdays on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Your morning routine just got a whole lot more fun.
To the line shooting 2, Deontay Simmons.
That is 3 now on McFarland. Remember, he picked up a quick 2 in the opening 2-3 minutes of the first half.
Got 3 on him. You have 2 on Jalen Henry. I was worried that was going to go against Jalen Henry. So
Deontay Simmons coming off a 12-point performance in Chicago State's loss last weekend to Bradley. Shooting 67%. Last 5 games for Chicago State. Makes it a 2-point deficit with the free throws. Henry on Simmons. Good help defense by Burns. He gets the steals, got a 3-on-1. And Bird with the finish. And we're tied at 39.
good look by Burns. Took it all the way to the basket. Just laid it off the last second.
Montana Bird led the way in the loss against Bradley on Saturday. He had 14 for Chicago State. Here's Kinchin with a wide open 3. And you kind of pointed this out, Joe, in the opening half. Don't see a lot of white jerseys under the glass on the offensive end, or not very much so far here tonight.
No, you're right, and that's something that, you know, it's going to allow too many of those chances for Chicago State.
And there's a turnover for Chicago State. That is their 11th of the evening.
And we talked about that really early on, that this was kind of a sloppy game. Now 11 for them, 10 for SIU-E. Both teams have scored some points off of turnovers.
Henry in the paint. Nice strong move by Jalen Henry.
Henry came on in the second half against Chicago State. So too did Daniel Kinchin, for that matter. But you need big second halves again.
Burns three. A little strong. Kinchin gets the long rebound. Kinchin gonna take it to the hole.
Just outstanding from Daniel Kinchin, because we know he can be a long-range threat. But if he can add that to his game, he's all the more dangerous.
So SIU-E switching up to a zone defense here.
Something that John Harris has done a lot more of this year is the different looks on defense, and specifically even different zones, Scott, during the same game.
Deontay Simmons can't get that hook to drop. One and done on that possession for Chicago State as SIU-E trying to add to their 4-point lead. Henry at the block. Turnaround. Oh, in and out. Sims. Nice.
Good touch from Sims on the other end.
Back to Henry. This time with the left hand. Sims gets the rebound. Can tie it on this possession. Burns out of control, and how did that go in?
I don't know how you get away with that. I mean, the official's giving you the juggling sign, but boy, in my eyes, that's a travel. That's a loss.
Open inside. There's another block by Simmons. Ellis with the right hand.
Scott, Chicago State has twice now tied this game in the second half. Twice SIU-E has answered and opened up a little bit of a lead.
Nice job by Henry. Dump down to Henry. Kick out. Kinchin for three.
Ball movement outstanding right there. Christian Ellis a little bit too deep for Jalen Henry. Once he do, immediately knock it out into the corner.
Timeout, Chicago State. Well, it looks like the strong finish to the first half has carried over to the opening stages of the second half for SIU-E.
It's been odd, Scott. We've had these little stretches during the game. At one point, you'd say, boy, Chicago State really has this game in control. Then SIU-E kind of regains the momentum. But you're right, it looks like SIU-E has carried it into the second half.
Bulls called.
Forcing Chicago State to be a jump shooting team. This is not a great shooting team. They're shooting under 40% for the season. They're shooting 30% from three-point range. If you can force a team into the jump shots, especially when they're not falling, that's going to be... that's
Seconds elapsed. And we'll get play underway now after they've figured out that technical error. Jalen McCoy had a couple of threes early in this one. In fact, that Daniel Kinchin three was the first three SIU-E had hit since the 14:53 mark of the opening half of play. Double team there on Kinchin. Shot clock at 1. McCoy lets it go. Largest lead of the night for SIU-E at 10. Wide open. Bowles. He shuts down the 10-0 run for SIU-E.
Two wide open. They all shifted to one side. Bowles gets out, leaks out on that left side there, and he's got an open look.
Nice no-look pass by Jackson and the finish by Simmons.
On a screen and roll from Brandon Jackson, and then he makes the extra pass to Keenan Simmons there.
That entire bucket and field goal thanks to Brandon Jackson. There's another block. Kinchin in transition. And the follow by Keenan Simmons.
Wow.
Point lead for SIU-E. Check this out, Joe.
Block on one end, off to the races. Kinchin looks like he's going to finish. Simmons will. And you can see the emotion from Keenan Simmons, the senior.
Six blocks, 6 dunks for Simmons tonight.
Getting it done around the rim.
You better get into your record books there, mister.
I can tell you, he is 2 blocks away from the school record, which was Michael Chandler just a couple of years ago.
Ever had a 6-and-6 block and dunk?
Yeah, I don't know that. That would be. Brandon Jackson's lucky where he caught that. I think
yes,
that's what you were looking at the same thing. Yeah, he almost
was waiting
himself.
And they get the call with the high ball pressure on Christian Ellis. Oh no, they're going to call a foul. I thought maybe they had almost got Ellis on the over and back.
I thought they did as well. You're right.
Christian has had himself quite an evening. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, as you pointed out, which ties a season high for Christian.
Cougars at 14 assists. Their season high as a team is 16 assists. That was in the game against South Alabama on Sunday. So they're doing a nice job in general moving the ball around.
Pinching off on that 3 attempt. Pruitt gets the bucket and the foul.
Give Ellis credit. He tried to get back, tried to set himself up to take a charge.
Checking in for Ellis, number 22, Justin Benton. And for Kinchin, number 15, Caleb McFarland returns. To the line, shoot 1, Jelani Crew.
Hey, Zebra! Check your foot, Fail! Miss the ball!
The press is at least doing a nice job to disrupt the momentum.
That is the team foul on Chicago State. There you see Tracy Dildy in his 8th season as the head coach of the Chicago State Cougars. McFarland back in and still on all the inbounds. Nice job by McFarland getting back defensively and getting the steal. Those are the type of plays that make coaches happy. And those are the ones that don't get very happy.
Yeah, just a little bit of a head fake right there that ended up in the shuffle of the feet to give it away.
12th turnover for SIU-E. So we near the 12-minute mark left in this second half. SIU-E trying to make it a 3-game winning streak with a victory here tonight against Chicago State. Ooh, in and out by Sim.
I mean, that's as good of a look as he's going to see from out there on the wing. And they block off number 0. He said on offense, first of all, he said, let the ball move and play aggressive. Stay aggressive. Don't get passive.
McFarland trying to go for the steal and the whistle. Ooh, man. David picks up the foul.
Wow.
Man. That's tough. That's number
tough.
4 on McFarland.
That's a toss-up ball right
Absolutely.
there. You have to let him be able to go for it.
David obviously frustrated as he heads over the bench again with 4 fouls. Simmons. SIU-E up by a half dozen. Again, working it inside to perfection, and Brendan Jackson with the finish.
Now 7 assists for Christian Ellis. Another good look.
Deontay Simmons on Jackson. And the rebound by Brandon, and a foul is called. As we see Christian Ellis at work on the offensive end.
Again, good court vision right there. He had a look at Brandon Jackson. Look at Jackson just kind of shuffling in from the corner spot over there. But Christian Ellis knew he had enough room to put that pass right to him.
It's the 4th foul on Cameron Bowles of Chicago State. SIU-E 7 for the last 9 from the field. McCoy from the outside again, and he drills it. 3 threes made by Jalen McCoy.
Getting awfully close to his career high. He had 16 a couple of games ago against Fort Wayne.
It's now 13 threes made in the last 4+ games. And too easy on that 2 for Chicago State.
It's Anthony Harris. I was just going to say, he's missed the last couple of games. He's been out with an injury, and so weren't sure if we were going to see Anthony Harris.
Benton on the drive. Nice. You can tell the complete difference, and we showed it to you just a little bit ago, the difference in the offensive game plan for the most part in SIU-E from first half to second half. Really taking it right inside.
And that, again, it speaks to what we heard Coach Harris in that little segment, the sounds of the game, talking about being aggressive on the offensive end.
Jelani Pruitt of Travis Dildy's Chicago State Cougars picks up the offensive foul. Both teams with 4 team fouls in this second 20 minutes of play. And we're going to see a 1-3-1 zone here by Chicago State.
Kind of game, Jalen McCoy. Wow.
Largest lead for SIU-E at 14, and Travis Dildy wants to call a time. You're Bentner Ellis, and you're having that success. Those shots are going to be open for McCoy, and he has been huge, especially in the second half.
I think also, too, Scott, is if, you know, the defense starts to key in on a Jalen Henry or a Daniel Kinchin, you need somebody else to come along, and Jalen McCoy has been that perfect guy, and that's what he's done a couple of times this year now. When SIU-E beat IUPUI, the first game in what could be a 3-game win streak now. They did it with really balanced offensive scoring. Jalen Henry had a great night, but you got that scoring from other folks. They've got 4 guys in double figures tonight. McCoy leads the way with 17 points tonight.
Simmons inside on Henry. Deontay with the left hand. So here's kind of the runs, if you will, for SIU-E beyond the arc. They started 3 for 4, then went 0 for their next 8, and now 4 for their last 6.
Yeah, it's weird to see a team go so hot and so cold within the same game.
Nice move by Henry. Well, I'd love to see a shot chart. First half versus second half. Be amazing. Burns is called for the carryover. Back the other way to SIU-E. That is the 15th turnover for Chicago State. 4 Cougars right now of SIU-E in double figures.
$17 assists, that's a season high for the team. So again, exactly what Coach Harris was saying, move the ball and be aggressive. They've done both those things really well in the second half.
Ellis, nice entry to Henry. Wow. Those two have quite a chemistry.
Yeah, there's not a question about it. They've really, they know where one another is going to be, and Henry did a really nice job kind of keeping control of that, and then a real simple touch.
Foul called on SIU-E.
10 points more a game, and it's related to that 3-point shooting and how good they've been.
Deontay Simmons at the line right now. As Joe alluded to, a season-high 18 assists to just 12 turnovers. And when you're building a program, and you and I mentioned this during a couple of the telecasts last year, there was way too many turnovers compared to assists. You got to take care of the basketball. And we're seeing a marked improvement of John Harris's team doing that this season. Sims on the steal and the bucket on the inbounds play.
Of course they would turn it over, as you're talking about, right?
Exactly.
You see Christian Ellis right there, and just good anticipation, and they make it count.
Here's Pruitt on the crossover. Kick out. Burns. Nice help defense by Ellis. Inside. Pruitt can't finish. Gets his own rebound and the putback. And Sims almost comes up with another steal. Very lackadaisical on the inbounds.
Yeah, without a doubt. And first of all, I think that Henry was a little bit lax on the offense or the defensive rebound there. I think that if he holds on to that, you're talking about a ball that doesn't go down, obviously, for Chicago State. And then, yeah, they almost turn it over twice.
Ooh, they're going to say Ellis out of bounds. That was interesting because it looked like Ellis actually went out of bounds off of contact.
Right.
Nice job by McCoy to get the rebound. Not many offensive rebounds for Chicago State here tonight. Ellis taking it right to the hole. (73-60) SIU-E with a 13-point lead as we near the 6-minute mark in the second half. And Burns answers, and a timeout is called just 2 away with the double figs as he has 8 points so far this evening.
Cougars have not had a game this year with 5 guys in double figures.
Justin Benton in. Justin trying to get the dump down to Henry. Beautiful pass. I mean, he was facing a double team there, and somehow Benton, like a quarterback, just dumped it in.
He did. He just lobbed it right over his shoulder right there. You're right.
Cougars with the 13-point lead. Still over 5 minutes remaining. See if they take a little bit more time on their possessions here. Kind of sugarcoat that clock a little bit, if you will. Benton pulls up, full strong. Rebound taken by Harris. Burns on the drive.
Well, there's a reason that Coach Harris said in that huddle to shut down Zero. Don't let him get in the lane like that. And he's done it now each of the last 2 times down for Chicago State. Should be a foul.
Here's McCoy. Finds Henry. Henry on Burns. Now facing the double team. Turnaround. Wow. How about that shot?
Wow, what a tough angle to turn towards the baseline right there. And he's still almost fading away, and he gets it to fall.
Burns again wanting to go on the drive. And the follow by Pruitt. And the timeout taken by Chicago State.
That's 5 good conference games coming up here at Vidal-Amin Center.
You look at Murray State, they've hit the century mark twice already this year. Teams are scoring at will at times.
They've got Auburn tonight, I think, down there.
I think you're right. Henry trying a 3, why not? Everything else is dropping tonight.
Especially recently.
Yes.
When we put that graphic up, McCoy was the leading scorer at 17. Henry had 11 points. All of a sudden, Henry's got 18 points and is the leading scorer now.
Kitchen on the drive, and Daniel will head to the free throw line when we come back. 3.
He's certainly done that.
And the blocking foul on Henry. That is the 3rd on Jalen. Meanwhile, for the Cougars tonight from the field, they are shooting right now just a smidge over 60%. Last time the Cougars have shot over 60% in a game, you have to go back to January 25th, 2014. I think they call that progress.
Yeah, absolutely. They were nearly there at 57% against IUPUI a couple of games ago, but you know, all of these things starting to come together. We talk about the assists going up, those shooting numbers going up. Positive momentum.
Folks, another reminder, Wednesday night, Fox Sports Midwest takes you inside the baseball winter meetings with Cardinals Confidential. Our cameras were granted exclusive access inside the Cardinals war room as the Cardinals pursued upgrades to the roster. We'll show you how some of the big deals unfolded. Cardinals Confidential, brought to you by your Mid-America Chevy dealers, Wednesday at 7:30 before Blues pregame on Fox Sports Midwest. Steal by Chicago State on the inbounds. That's the 3rd time that has happened this half. Another block by Simmons.
Is that 2? If they give him 2 right there, he's tied the school record.
My goodness. Big night for 45.
To the line shooting 21 for SIU, Christian Ellis.
I think he only got credited with one block there, Scott.
I think it should have been two, though.
I think it should have been two as well.
Ellis at the line. Back of the iron. 11-point lead for SIU-E at 79-68 as we have just over 2.5 remaining. Burns lost the handle. Kinchin catches up to it. And the foul is called on Pruitt.
Foul called on Chicago State, number 2. Lonnie Pruitt, his third.
That's the third foul on Pruitt, the redshirt senior from Gary, Indiana. Kitchen 83% from the charity stripe this season. And he is now perfect on the night at 3 for 3. Now we'll see if the SIU-E Cougs can lock it down defensively. Burns again on the drive. Boy, he's just done that way too much here this evening.
Foul call on Chicago State, number 2,
Jelani Pruitt again whistled for the foul. That's his fourth as the clock stops with 2:06 remaining. Tracy Dildy, 8th year as the head coach at Chicago State. Free throws made by Christian Ellis as Justin Benton will come in for Daniel Kinchin. And for Christian Ellis, he's had himself quite an evening. 15 points, but he also has 8 assists, which ties a career high here tonight. Simmons inside. And a foul on Anthony Harris. It's interesting, while you're down by double digits, how Chicago State is attacking things offensively. They're still going for the higher percentage shots right now, still down by double figures.
Trying to get to the basket, and really, you have to recognize. In fact, Coach Harris said this exactly to me. You have to know who you are as a team, and I think that's where Chicago State is. And if you realize you're not a good jump shooting team, the way to score the basketball is to do what you can to try to get those higher percentage shots and get to the basket.
How many times, though, have we seen teams, 2, 3 minutes, even 4 minutes left in the game after an under 4, panic and start just throwing up threes at will?
Yeah, you're right.
And a jump ball call off the miss. Possession arrow favors SIU-E.
I think that's a good point, Scott, and I think that's a credit to Coach Tildy and his coaching staff and keeping this team, understanding who they are and what they need to do to try to stay in games, get back in games.
So this game can be iced if SIU-E can continue to make the free throws. Christian Ellis only shooting 46% from the line heading into tonight's game, but right now he is 5 of 6 from the free throw line. That, by the way, was the 10th team foul, so double bonus situation for SIU-E from here on out. Bodies on the floor, and somehow Jalen Henry comes up with a loose ball, and then a foul is called.
Foul on Chicago State. Number 3, Deontay Simmons. That's his third.
So now Jalen Henry, who has 18 points tonight, shooting over 50% from the field, 8 for 15. And Henry trying to catch his breath. He'll be shooting 2 free throws here. As you see, quite a night for the senior from Springfield, Illinois. Very nicely done. By the way, Cougars have one more before a little break for Christmas as they'll head up to Michigan, take on Central Michigan on Friday before they break for the holiday.
They're 8-2, Central Michigan, coming into a game tonight at UMKC. It won't be an easy test.
Eighteenth turnover for Chicago State. McCoy will break the pressure for SIU-E. 87 points right now for SIU-E. That ties a season high. Take a look at the OVC scoreboard, several games, and there's the Auburn you mentioned taking on Murray State, trailing by 7 in the second half. Belmont a winner over Western Kentucky. How about that? Austin Peay also up, and in the second half, it's Butler leading Morehead State only by 9.
That's a heck of a scoreboard, though. You look at some of the non-conference teams that other OVC teams are playing. A Butler out of the Big East, Auburn out of the SEC, obviously, even Western Kentucky. Been a really good team in the past, so.
Very nice job by Christian Ellis, who ties a career high now with 18 points. Burns inside, and the follow.
Deontay Simmons.
And about a 6-second differential between game clock and shot clock. And Sims going for the steal, and they're going to say it was last touched by Justin Benton. So back the other way to Chicago State.
17th turnover for SIU-E.
Ones that'll get you there, a couple of those almost inbound plays.
Yeah.
Deontay
Simmons with the easy bucket. And now SIU-E can just run the clock out here.
Ooh. Justin Benton just keeping it from being an over in the back.
And the crowd here at the Badalabine Center excited about this one. For the first time since February 21st, 2015, the SIU-E Cougars have won